Like damn, she wanna afford to touch me. I say I want it, and she got it.
What's good? It's your boy Jay. That's me. Let's get into NXT from August the 27th, 2024, the go home show, to this Sunday's No Mercy. And since No Mercy is this Sunday, we will be going over the predictions for No Mercy. So we kicked the show off with a promo by the Fatal Influence, and the same goes for the Metaphor. So this leads us into our first match of the night with the Fatal Influence defeating Metaphor. So Jasmine Nix, towards the end of the match, she gets involved. She ate a big boot for her troubles. That's allowed for Fallon Henley and Daisy Jane to get the numbers game, and they end up hitting a double knee strike for the 1-2-3, which was badass. I like the Fatal Influence. They're a good team, but the only problem is the name, and problem number two is they have nothing to fight for. Like I said last week, if you're going to have women factions in NXT, Shawn Michaels has got to bring back the NXT Women's Tag Team Championships. That's what he has to bring back. Obviously, you can have Fallon Henley or Jessie Jane go after the NXT Women's Championship or the NXT Women's North American Championship. But you need championships for these women to fight for. And all three women look sexy as fuck. That's just the truth. Moving on. So Eddie Thorpe, he had a backstage confrontation with Ashanti the Adonis. He was talking to some of his girls, that being Eddie Thorpe. Ashanti the Adonis, he wanted to holler at said girls, but to no avail. They bounced out. So, Ashanti seems surprised that Eddie Thorpe is only DJing for the love of the music. And then Brooks Jensen, his lame ass attacked Idris Enofe with a steel chair. Alright, that's fine. Moving on. Carmen Petrovich defeats Izzy Dame. So that's fine. She gets the win via roll-up. So they continue their little mini feud. Alright, I guess. I don't really care. Who gives a shit? Moving on. Ren Sinclair and Charlie Dempsey. They bicker about who should be taking the lead in the No Quarter Catch crew. Okay. Interesting. I'm digging the No Quarter Catch crew stuff. It's always fun to see Charlie Dempsey and Ren Sinclair progress week in and week out, and this one was no different. So, yeah. And Charlie Dempsey, he's going to be something special. Like, the guy is solid. I could definitely see him being North American champion in due time, as well as the NXT champion in due time. So, the guy has a bright future. Regal taught his son right. Moving on. So, Sarah Schreiber, she had a backstage interview with our girl, Jada Parker, sexy ass. So, Jada Parker says that it's been fast. She'll tell us that. She said she signed with the WWE exactly 2 years ago, but before signing, she was a D1 soccer player at LSU, and making that transition from the field to the ring, she was kind of nervous, but she took it one step at a time, and everything fell into place. She gets on TV for the Breakout Tournament. Her first PLE was a tag match back in February. Her first solo PLE was at Battleground back in June, and her big TV match against Michin. And then the Eliminator happened last week, and now comes Sunday, she's going to get... My bad. And now comes Sunday, she's going to get the chance to win the NXT Women's Championship. So, Jada Parker says that she's not going to lie. She says she's kind of sore, but nothing's broke or cracked. So she's ready to go. So Sarah Schreiber asked Jada Parker if Roxanne Perez is underestimating her. She says that she is. She gives Roxanne her flowers because she's up there with one of the greatest NXT Women's Champions of all time. But what Roxanne Perez fails to realize is that she's not scared of the spotlight. She's been in it since she was a teenager. She had a D1 scholarship when she was in middle school. I'm like, damn. She said she played at LSU in front of thousands upon thousands of fans. She was on the U.S. women's national team for soccer. So, no, she's not a soccer player that became a WWE superstar. She's a WWE superstar who used to play soccer. I love that. That was great. She said that she's confident and she's cocky. She says what's on her mind all the time. When that money's in the middle, Jada Parker is always on point. My actions speak for themselves. And at No Mercy, they'll speak even louder. So, Roxanne Perez, she pushes Sarah Schreiber away. She tells her to leave. So, Roxanne Perez gives fake props to Jada Parker. But she was really talking about Lola Vice and everybody else from Thea Hale and how nobody's redemption story has ever came true. She's still going to remain. She's still going to remain top of the division. And she says that Jada Parker is going to be a future champion. That's not right now. So Jada Parker says that she's going to slap the shit out of Roxanne Perez, which she does. That was great. I loved it. I was like, oh, shit. Jada Parker, man, she a bad bitch, man. Jada Parker's a bad bitch. I love her. She a bad bitch. Like, I love that. Like, that slap was legit. I'm like, damn. Like, Jada Parker, I could definitely see her being NXT Women's Champion as well as NXT North American Champion. And I think that's what they're going to go with her after she loses to Roxanne Perez on Sunday. That's probably what they're going to end up doing, is having her go after Kelani again after Kelani's feud, after Kelani's done feuding with Wendy Chu. So, yeah. Moving on. So, this leads us into the family versus the No Quarter Catch crew. It was a mixed 6-person tag in which the family, they got the win. Makes perfect sense. They win via the Shatter Machine. Very good match. Really solid match. All 6 people killed it. You know, Stacks is a gem. Same thing with Lucia Cristofano. Same thing with him. Ren Sinclair did good in this one. Same thing with Charlie Dempsey. Miles Bourne did all right, too. So, yeah. Moving on. So, Kelly Kincaid, she's got a backstage interview with Pete Dunne, mate. Yeah. So, Pete knows that Trick Williams cost him a shot at the NXT title. But he's not going to sit around and bitch about it like he would. Pete Dunne says that he's going to figure it out because his main priority is becoming the NXT champion. But first, Pete Dunne wants to teach Trick one last lesson. When he messes with the Bruiserweight, he's going to beat him within an inch of his life. Pete Dunne says next week he'll see Trick. And that sort of kind of pissed me off because I was like, okay, so Trick was supposed to be on the card, but he's not. But he ends up being on the card later on at the end of the show. So we'll talk about that. But that did inevitably piss me off the first time when I heard it. I was like, oh, shit. But thankfully it was not inevitable. So I'm glad that Trick Williams is still going to be on the card. And Pete Dunne versus Trick Williams, it does seem fitting that it's a television match. So, yeah. Moving on. So, Ethan Page, he is backstage. He's talking to Ava. Ava says that Ethan, what he did last week, was totally unacceptable. He can't go around manhandling referees like that. What was he thinking? So Ethan basically wants to be suspended, so that way he wants to face Joe Hendry at No Mercy. Ava says, nope, that's not going to happen. She's going to have to take some time to think things through, but she'll let him know before the end of the night. Nice. Good shit. Moving on. The face-off between Zachary Wentz and Wes Lee. This was pretty okay. This is all right. So, Zachary Wentz, he was pissed off at first. Wes Lee tells him to calm down. Zachary Wentz says, bro, 9 years. You're willing to piss away 9 years because you think you're some big star. And then Wes Lee, he's like, no, he knows that he's a huge star. He's a bigger star than him and Trey Miguel. He says the reason why Zachary Wentz came back was to get the NXT rub. He says they're on different levels. Zachary Wentz said that nobody was prouder of him and with what Wesley has accomplished. He said he knows that he messed up. He said MSK was one of the greatest tag teams in NXT history. He knows that he ruined that. He can own up to his own mistakes, even though through it all, you got the main event superstar that you always wanted to be, and I got to grow up. I got to become a man. And 2 years, I had to picture you in this ring alone, crying, wondering what's going to happen next. It motivated me to pick my head up and to dig myself out of that hole and come back to NXT and reunite with my brothers. So Wesley's like, look, he doesn't want to hear it. He still says that they're on different levels. So Zachary Wentz is like, look, they've always had their back. Who's the one who texted you at 1 a.m. in the morning? Who's the one that watched over you while your wife was at work? Who was the one bringing you food? And he said, in front of these cameras, I couldn't be your tag team partner. Behind the scenes, I was always your brother. I'm like, damn, that was some good shit right there. That was awesome. So Wesley's like, say what you need to say. It doesn't matter to him. Just know that they're on different levels. And Zachary Wentz says that that Wesley's underestimated him their entire careers. He said that on Sunday, this TNA wrestler is going to beat the ass of this WWE superstar Wesley, and Wesley says Zachary wants to dead everything, forget the friendship that they had, forget everything that they've ever done. The Sunday at No Mercy, he's going to show why I'm the WWE superstar and why you're nothing but a TNA wrestler. So this is good stuff here. I love it. It makes sense. Excellent stuff. Excellent shit. Really good promo stuff. Moving right along. So this leads us into Trick Williams running into Joe Hendry in the backstage area. Joe wanted to express his gratitude for the assist that Trick gave him last week. Trick believes in Joe Hendry. Joe Hendry says that when he beats Ethan Page at No Mercy, Trick will he'll get the first shot at the title. Trick Williams tells Joe Hendry to whoop that Trick, and he wishes him good luck on his concert. Okay, that's fine. So this leads us into Wendy Chu and Kelani Jordan. So Kelani wanted to know who her opponent was, and then it ended up being Rosemary. Kelani Jordan defeats Rosemary, who got a really good reaction, really good stuff. It's really good to see Rosemary on TV. I like Rosemary, just not in TNA, because why? She's been there for like 7 fucking years. But her in NXT, she fits in there like a glove. So yeah, really good stuff there. So I wonder who else they're going to bring in next from TNA to hang out with Wendy Chu. Probably, maybe Havoc, or maybe Allie. One of the two. I'm probably going to go with Allie. So yeah, but the match was fine. Really good stuff. Moving on. So Ora Mensah, he's backstage. He's trying to clear up the metaphor. Lexis King says he has no time for Ora Mensah's stories. Lexis King says that Noam Dar was the real father figure of the metaphor. And then Ora Mensah says that Lexis King lacks a father figure, and then they have a brawl. I'm like, oh shit. So it was pretty cool. So you knew that would happen. Moving on, we get a Chase U vignette. They're talking about how they're still happy to be tag team champions and everything. They're going to be fighting champions. Then Nathan Frazier and Axiom, they walk in, and they said that they're going to get their tag team titles back. Duke Hudson and Riley Osborne, they're kind of somber about the deal. So this leads me to believe that there could be a heel turn and a split coming within Chase U. So it's that jealousy that's going to linger. So, yeah. Moving on, I wanted to burn my television to the fucking ground. Brooks Jensen defeated Malik Blade. That pissed me off. Moving on. So, OTM, they pick a fight with Hank and Tank. Not important. Who cares? They probably have a match that'll lead into the pre-show on No Mercy. That's on Sunday. Moving on. So, main event of the evening, match-wise, Joe Coffey defeats Javon Evans with the help of Gallus. So that's fine. Makes sense. Pretty solid match. Moving on. So, Obafemi, he's taking over Tony D's restaurant. Obafemi knows that Tony D is the Don of NXT, but Obafemi is the ruler. He's the ruler of NXT, so he doesn't need the Don's acceptance. Obafemi doesn't tolerate disrespect. The Don doesn't take disrespect either. He's not oblivious to the messages Obafemi is trying to send. Obafemi then challenges the Don to a match at No Mercy. Tony D says that he's going to show the world that Obafemi is indeed mortal. Okay, that's cool. Really good shit there. I'm down for that. Moving on. Closing segment of the evening. So Joe Hendry, he comes out. He sings his song. He does his little concert. He says that Ethan sucks. He knows that he's not in shape. He says, believe in Joe. Ethan sucks, put on some clothes. Ethan sucks, believe in Joe. Ethan, put on some clothes. So Ethan Page doesn't want to hear the song. He's tired of Joe Hendry. He's tired of Joe Hendry being a nuisance. He says that he's not an NXT superstar. He said he's the champion of this company and he knows what's best for his people, even though they're singing this really obnoxious song. He says what's best for his people is keeping Joe Hendry out of NXT and away from his NXT championship. So Ava comes out. She tells Ethan that he should be flattered that Joe took the time to write a special song about him. It was kind. He said, but she said, in all seriousness, remember how she told him that she had a few things to sort out? She said, Ethan, because of your blatant disrespect to our officials, your title defense at No Mercy will have a special guest referee. So it ends up being Trick Williams. So Ethan, he snaps, and then he attempts to hit Joe Hendry with the NXT belt. He avoids that. Joe Hendry hits the standing ovation, and Trick pins Ethan Page for the 1, 2, 3. They give us the visual of that. And then Pete Dunne, he's lurking in the background. Pete Dunne says that Trick may not make it to next week. And Trick and Joe Hendry celebrate to close the show. So that was fine. Really good stuff. It makes sense. I got a feeling what they're probably going to do is Joe Hendry and Trick Williams. They could either do that at Bound for Glory, or they could do that for like a Survivor Series, but I doubt it. But I think what they are going to do is they are going to build towards Trick Williams and Joe Hendry. And I don't think that neither guy needs to turn. I think, both guys are over. Trick shouldn't turn heel because he was heel when Carmella Hayes was in NXT. So Trick was heel back in 2022 and early last year. So it's only just within the last 7 to 8 months Trick has been a babyface. So yeah. But I think what they might end up doing is like a fatal 4-way later down the line. I don't know when. Maybe at Bound for Glory or at Halloween Havoc. And I could see Trick winning that way. I don't know. Even though I'm not a fan of multi-man matches, but that's what they could do. But yeah, so NXT was solid. It was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. So let's get into the predictions for No Mercy. So No Mercy takes place on Sunday, September the 1st. It's going to be in Denver, Colorado. Most of the tickets are sold and everything. So, yeah. So we have 6 matches on the card. Let's start with Kelani Jordan versus Wendy Chu for the NXT Women's North American Championship. Kelani Jordan will win. It makes perfect sense. And I do see Jada Parker feuding with Kelani Jordan going forward. Moving on. A match I'm looking forward to. Obafemi, the Ruler, versus Tony D'Angelo, the Don. The Don of NXT for the NXT North American Championship. Who wins this? I want Obafemi to retain, but I also want Obafemi to be in a feud. He needs to be in an actual feud. And him losing at No Mercy should be the start of the feud between Tony D and Obafemi. I think that would kick ass if we could get 3 matches out of this. Sign me the fuck up. So I think Tony D is going to win, and it makes the most sense. Moving on, Chase U, Andre Chase and Ridge Holland versus Nathan Frazier and Axiom for the NXT Tag Team Championships. Chase U will retain, and then I think there's going to be dissension within the group, within the university, coming from Riley Osborne and Duke Hudson. So I expect those guys to turn heel in due time. Moving on, another match I'm looking forward to. That's Wesley versus Zachary Wentz. Wesley's going to win, obviously. The match should be fun. Then we have another match I'm looking forward to. That's my girl Jada Parker versus Roxanne Perez for the NXT Women's Championship. Roxanne Perez is going to win. And I do expect for Julia to make her appearance, to make her debut. I think they'll probably bring either Stephanie Vacour or Delta in right after. I would bring Stephanie Vacour either within the first 2 weeks of NXT moving to the CW. So that's what I would do. Then this leads us into the main event, Ethan Page versus Joe Hendry for the NXT Championship. Special guest referee Trick Williams. Ethan Page is going to win. I expect for Pete Dunne to get involved and take out Trick Williams, and then Ethan Page will win. Maybe Josh Alexander, maybe he shows up to help Ethan Page out. Maybe. I doubt it, though. But yeah. But those are my predictions. Hopefully we get some surprises. Hopefully the Motor City Machine Guns show up. I think that's warranted. Hopefully we see Julia. So, yeah. But NXT No Mercy should be fun, and NXT this week was fun. I'm going to go over my predictions again. Wesley will defeat Zachary Wentz. Chase U will retain the Tag Team Championships. Tony D will defeat Obafemi and be the new North American NXT champion. Kelani Jordan will retain her NXT Women's Championship. Her NXT Women's North American Championship. Roxanne Perez will retain her NXT Women's Championship. And Ethan Page will retain the NXT Championship. So what did you guys think of NXT? And what are your predictions for No Mercy? Like, comment, subscribe. Peace.